Hi, a very good morning to all the lovely members of Mompreneur community. I'm Pragati Rao. I'm a psychologist and neurological transformation coach at Concepts India Initiatives since the year 2007. Today, I wish to talk to you about stress in relationships. Yes, you heard me right. Stress in relationships is far more common than me and you might ever think of. Well, if that is a reality, what are the five factors, which are the five broad stressors which could create stress in a relationship, is what I'm going to talk about today. And I would also like to tell you what all could be done to take care of them. Well, to begin with, the very first reason there is conflict or stress in a relationship is uh, operating from a sense of entitlement. So many of us would at times be in a relationship and think, oh, this is my right, this is what I deserve in this relationship. So when we do that, we are only so self consumed that we forget to give to the relationship, and this creates conflict. This creates uh, pain in the other person who's also part of the relationship that we are in. The second important factor is operating from a mindset of win lose. So, whenever we are operating from this kind of mindset, whether it is a personal relationship or a professional relationship, we all know that this will not work long time. We also have to take care of what the significant other in the relationship is wanting as part of that. If we don't do that, we miss out the very essential beauty of a relationship, which is bringing together of two individuals for the sake of a common good. So that is not happening. And when you operate from such perspectives, there's also a good enough reason that you start behaving in styles which are dominant, which are egotistical, and which are only about you. So if the significant other person in the relationship does not have anything to gain, isn't it obvious that they won't have enough reasons to stay in the relationship and there'll be conflicts? The third factor that I need to highlight on is faulty beliefs. Yes, faulty beliefs and preconceived notions about relationships. Faulty beliefs are the beliefs like I'm the only one contributing to the relationship while the other person is enjoying life, or I have to look after the children and the husband is enjoying and growing, and look at the pace at which he's growing, or things like though it's a team effort but I end up giving more, I end up doing more. So if you look at it, these are some of the examples where you think that you are doing more and you are not growing as compared to the other person. So when you think like this, you obviously think that you are in a a different place, which is not obviously a very happy positive place, and the other person is having all the benefits. So this is a reason of big conflicts in a relationship. Another thing that I just mentioned as part of this is preconceived notions about relationships. So when we think that this is how a husband should behave, that's how a children should be acting or behaving, or that's how a team member should be operating as part of a team, that's when we stop appreciating the uniqueness that each individual brings into a relationship. That is exactly when we don't allow them to be what they are. And once we do that, we know it's a lose lose game all over. So it's important that we take care of those faulty beliefs and those preconceived notions around what marriage should be, what work should be, what a perfect team should be, what perfect children should look like, and more of such types. The fourth factor is about not being flexible enough. Yes. So if you're always operating from what is in there in this relationship for me, chances are you will miss out the beauty and joy of the relationship. You often have to shift from your stand to the other person's stand, and also at times just stay away from the situation to see from a stand of an observer. We call this perceptual positions technically. So if you are not changing your perceptual positions from self to others to an observer, these are the three positions that we normally have. So when you're only thinking about what's in there for me, you are in a self mode. When you're thinking about, okay, so let me see how this situation, how this particular thing that I'm doing is affecting others, where you are operating very beautifully and very empathetically, is the others. And the third is where you want to see a conflict or a situation in just an objective manner. That's where you step onto the observer's shoes. So I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but now that you're aware of it, please keep shifting your positions from self to others to observers, and you get just the right perspective about what is good or what is bad in a relationship, and all the stresses can beautifully be taken care of. The fifth one is about ineffective communication. And also, there are many a times there are, and mind reading, yes. So, ineffective communication and mind reading are another big blocks to a beautiful, positive, healthy relationship. So, what do I mean by that? Well, I have noticed a lot of relationships, they end and the person stops talking to each other, or when they talk all the foul things. So in both the cases, the communication is not effective enough. So if you stop talking, you're not communicating what went wrong, so the relationship goes for a toss and the other person doesn't even know what happened, what went wrong. And in cases where we say something nasty or bad, then again we are spoiling the relationship, because of course the pain of what has been said stays longer. So these are the five things if you want to take care of them. So let me quickly summarize what all five big boulders to a good relationship could be. One is operating from a sense of entitlement. That means I deserve this, I have to be given this, and if you don't give me this, there are bad repercussions to it. And you owe this to me. So trust me, nobody owes anything to us. So sense of entitlement, if you operate from that, it could be a big problem in a relationship. If you operate from a win-lose mindset, that I win and the other person lose, if you have faulty beliefs and fixed preconceived notions about how a relationship should look like, if you do not shift gears, if you do not shift from self to others to observer stance in a regular day, and finally your communication is ineffective, you end up mind reading. When you, for example, when you say, I know why he did that, I think whatever we know of the other person is so limited. So saying that this person did this because of that is just an assumption. That's just a mind read. This is not a healthy sign for any good relationship. So these are the five factors, and what all could be done. Well, a couple of things could be very helpful in case we really want to take care of the conflicts in our relationship. The first and the foremost important thing is we have to go to our relationships to give. Until unless we go with that mindset, we'll deposit less and we'll take out more. Nobody would be able to take out much if they are not depositing much into the relationship. Secondly, we have to consider, uh, rather ask a question: is our relationship a priority for us? Because if any relationship is that important, is that priority, I'm sure you would be proactively managing the stressors or the conflicts rather than going in a wrong direction for conflict resolution. You also could be asking yourself, how did I get lucky to get this person in my life or to get this kind of team in my life? Another question relevant, which is very relevant and very beautiful, which has always helped me, is what is this conflict trying to teach me? So the moment you ask these questions, there will be enough answers for you to manage your stresses in a better way. When it comes to faulty or preconceived notions around relationships, something that has really worked or would work for anybody in that matter is we've got to remember that we should not be threatening our relationship at any given point in time. The moment we threaten our relationship, we are creating a possibility of actually dissolving the relationship. So the moment that happens, then from there on, it's only a downhill. The when it comes to taking different stands, a little more awareness about what is perceptual positions, how I can see things from other people's viewpoint, how can I see things from a neutral viewpoint, apart from, of course, we all know how we look at things at our viewpoint. So if we are always in one or the other stand, if we are stuck there, just by knowing that there are different positions to see a situation would bring more clarity into the stresses. And finally, if it is all about ineffective communication and mind reads, we just need to understand one simple thing. There are enough word softeners which are available, which means instead of using strong words like angry, a simpler, softer word like annoyed would help much better. Transformation of vocabulary. Now, this is something where instead of saying, if you don't do this, I can't stand this, something like this, you know. So if you are using that kind of vocabulary often in your relationships, instead of using that, you can simplify it, transform it into a softer format. Like you can say, how about doing it this way, because the other way just doesn't go with me. So that's much more softer, and the chances of the other person heeding the request is very high. So I think this is what could be of great value if stress has to be taken care of, and effective conflict resolution could be a way forward if you follow these steps. Thank you so much.